Hello, everybody. It is Thursday. How are you tonight? It is great to have you with us. I am so excited to have you here this Thursday night. What is happening in your world this Thursday night? Tell me about it. Tell me about your Thursday, everybody. It is great to have you here. I am excited about it. It is Thursday. Hey, Adele and Dazzle are here to dazzle us. That twirl was just for you and Dazzle. Great to have you all here tonight. Hey, Kitty, how are things in Illinois tonight? Talked to several people in Illinois today. I haven't talked to you today, Kitty, in Illinois, but I have talked to several Illinoisians. I don't know what you're really called, but that sounded good. It sounded good in my head anyways. Whether it sounded good coming out of my mouth, that is all for you guys to decide. It is great to have you here, though. Tell me what is great in your world tonight. Tell me, was the sun shining in your world? Were the customers cheery? What made you grateful for this Thursday? Martha, another decent day. Kitty. Hey, Martha, I get out of bed on the sunny side of the street. Mostly because my wife leaves me out in the doghouse, but we'll leave Cassandra out of this. And why I would end out in the doghouse out of this. Yeah, it was strong for us too. It was sunny, it was strong. Dazzle says meow. All right, I'm on Dazzle time. Oops, hang on a second. I hit something wrong here. Dazzle says meow. Go, Dazzle, go. I know it's treat time, Dazzle. Dazzle says Neil's on. Where's my treats? If I gotta listen to this guy for a little while, I gotta have my treats. But I am glad that March, I'm hearing, is strong for a lot of people so far. Again, we're only 4 days in, but certainly I've seen a strong force in clothing. I've seen a lot of clothing moving, which is very exciting. Like crazy. I have got them pushing clothing to the store, and they are doing a good job with that. They are doing actually a pretty amazing job. And tomorrow is National Employee Day. So tomorrow is Employee Day. So maybe we should get employee gifts tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Well, I gave some employees peanut butter cups today, and I know any of you that have our warehouse team today. Yoga. Let me do the tree. Hang on a second here. I'm treeing. I know you can't see my leg, but my leg's in the right tree pose. Let's just assume that. Hey, Jennifer, great to have you here. When my cats, that's great, Kitty. I'm glad that your cats know it's almost bedtime. Maybe donuts for employees tomorrow. Well, you've got a really good donut shop, Julie. Well, actually, we have one. We have in that we could stop at on the way to work tomorrow. Well, we usually skip breakfast. We usually aren't breakfast people unless we're home and doing like a brunch or something. But on Fridays, Cassandra and I get special breakfast on our way into work, and we stop by this local coffee shop and we support them. I order before we leave the house, and it's ready when we get there. But we do pass this donut shop that makes, they're the grandchildren of the original founder of Dunkin' Donuts. And they make gourmet donut, like the super gourmet donuts. They actually serve them in a pizza box. You get them in a pizza box. I don't know. We'll have to look at that tomorrow, see what we support tomorrow. But tomorrow is Employee Day. Several of our warehouse people were excited to get peanut butter cups today. Everybody that worked at the warehouse got one. They said they hadn't had one before. I'm not ready and everything, and they had to have them. So, International Women's Day. Each staff member gets a commemorative shirt to wear. It's officially 3/8. That's cool, Kelly. That's awesome. I love that you're celebrating International Women's Day tomorrow. That's awesome. That is awesome. As a women's-owned business, that is awesome. And but yes, it is. It's actually the reason I know it's National Employee Day tomorrow is because my peanut butter cup people keep on reminding me that they make great gifts and you can buy them for your employees. Like I got 2 cases full from you. But yeah, maybe we'll come up with something. I'm the lousy one at coming up with something. That's all Cassandra. Cassandra's the good one. She's the one that makes me look good, actually. I mean, that's, this hair doesn't do itself. I'm just saying. These outfits most of the time don't come up themselves, although I did pick out this outfit today. I did get it approved, though. This is great energy tonight. I am glad to hear all the great energy that you guys have tonight because I got a lot of ground to cover tonight. So a lot of ground. So let's get on your roller skates and let's go. Ooh, glasses over here. Let's get those glasses. And then we can start on our skate here. All right, folks, let's get started with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program. Tonight, if you are following along, we are on page 188. 188 tonight. Good morning. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Repeat. Boom. There you go, people. That is where we start tonight. Okay. Lots of heavy stuff tonight. I'm going to keep you all busy with everything I'm posting tonight. I got a lot of posts tonight, a lot of charts, graphs, and forms I'm posting tonight. So know that the charts and stuff I'm talking about I will be posting. I've already got them queued up and scheduled, so they will be hitting the Facebook page and then narts.org/resalestrong by noon tomorrow. narts.org/resalestrong is where you will find all the files that I will be talking about tonight. And I have plenty. I like this quote tonight. Happiness makes up in height for what it lacks in length. Think about that. Happiness makes up in height for what it lacks in length. There you go. So there's several well-meaning bills working through various state legislatures, well-intentioned bills working through state legislatures, and I just want to make you peripherally aware of this one bill that is working through a variety of state legislatures right now. It is not necessarily going to end out seeing the light of day in which it passes and becomes law, but you need to be aware that laws like this are trying to work their way through state legislatures right now. And they've worked their way through some city councils, okay, and I've talked about it before about some areas in California where this has happened already. But there are hazard pay bills working their way through state legislatures. That retail employees should be getting hazard pay during the pandemic. And not only should they be getting hazard pay, they should get retroactive hazard pay. And there are these laws working their way through various state legislatures right now One of the ones that's moving further along is in Maryland, although it is not expected to pass, but it is moved further than others. Pass. But there are these laws that are working their way through. Yeah, that's a real big ouch, Kitty. That is a real big ouch, and it's really designed to go after the big guys. Some of the states are having based on employee size. Some of it's based on store size. Each state is doing something different. I had a big legislative briefing today to update me on things. And this is the danger bill that is working its way through various state legislatures, and they've also tried it at the city council level, most specifically in California. But the idea of hazard pay and that being a required pay, and the idea of it even worse being retroactive is just quite honestly from a business perspective freaking bang my head against the wall ridiculous. But, this is what well-intentioned legislators do when they're legislating from home. You got to keep in mind that most of them are just zooming it in. Right. You're 100% correct, Kitty. Why don't we get a priority in vaccine if we're facing frontline hazardous conditions? Absolutely. They're trying to rope the big guys in, and little guys are going to get roped into this if any of this comes to fruition. Ultimately, all the guidance all along has been a moving target. What we had to do for surfaces and clean and everything else, when it doesn't, you don't get it from surfaces based on current guidance. And pay us to close. Right. I mean, they don't want to do that either, Julie. They don't want to pay you to close. Hang on. They don't want to pay you to close. They didn't want to do what other countries have done. I mean, a lot of Europe has forced everything closed, okay, and has paid people and taken care of things much better than they have in the U.S. None of these situations are perfect. I mean, I talked about the situation, where TJ Maxx says it's going to cost them $1 billion just that 2/3 of their fleet in Europe is closed right now and remains closed. So there are these situations. I don't think much of this is going to see the light of day, but it's a very localized effort, and it's a very so I want you to be aware of it if you hear something. I'm certainly happy to get involved in a local conversation, a state conversation, if I'm aware about it. I'm certainly watching the overall national picture on things, and watching, my own backyard. But I want you to make you aware, because that was like one of the big danger signs that was brought up during the legislative call I was on today. And you got to keep in mind, the meeting that I was involved with today had big guys and little guys in it. I am honored to be one of the little guys that gets invited to this meeting, that has a Home Depot or a CVS and some of the others at this meeting, and I'm invited to have a seat at the table at it. And so I'm honored to have that, but some of this stuff is scary, when you look at that, and especially when you look at the retroactive aspect of it. So just something to keep in mind as you're reading your local news and be aware of, and certainly if there's something that concerns you in your area, let me know, and if I can give any advice on it, I am more than happy to do that. The next thing I wanted to talk about tonight was the minimum wage. The minimum wage, I have told you, okay, it is going to $15 an hour. I told you this long before the election, okay, and on a national basis that the national minimum wage would get raised to $15 an hour. And I also told you that would happen regardless of who was president. It is extremely more likely under a Biden administration, but it was going to happen no matter what, okay? And tonight I have a great graphic for you, okay, of the entire country and where everybody is with minimum wage so that you can get yourself mentally prepared. If you're not in the $11 an hour zone right now, you have to prepare your business that you will be there within 12 months. You have to prepare your business because that is where you will be. You shouldn't be afraid of it. You shouldn't be afraid of it, okay? But you do have to engineer your business because you will be at 11 within a year, okay? If you are not anywhere close to that, right now for your starting wages, another dollar. And everybody that you have above 10 is going to want more, okay? So you just have to get in line. But this is a great graphic. It will go up. This graphic I will post. It is the entire country and what the current minimum wage is by state. And I really am thankful to our friends at the National Federation of Independent Businesses for providing this to me. And it'll help you figure out where you're at. I mean, it's all over the board depending on where you are, but it is going. There's only one direction it's going, and that's going higher. I like Wyoming with a minimum wage. The state's minimum wage in Wyoming is $5.15 an hour. Now, because they are below the federal minimum wage, they have to offer the federal minimum wage. You have several states with no minimum wage. You have Georgia, which the minimum wage is below the federal minimum wage at $5.15. Kelly, what I usually do is proportional. So I do as a percentage, not as a dollar. So if you're raising your lowest ones $1, okay, or you're really raising them 10%, your $11 person is $1.10. Keeping it proportional. But I want you to be preparing your finances and your stores to get there. Yeah, $5.15, Julie. That sounds like something my father would pay me. Yeah, I know the minimum wage is $13.50 now, but I'm going to pay you $5.15. And you're going to earn every penny of it. Doesn't that sound like a... but a lot of states, there's a lot of states that are, the minimum wage is nowhere close to 11. And you are headed there. You are going to be at 11 within a year. All the proposals that I'm getting from the feds are taking you to 11 really, really quickly. So if you are in one of those states that is not, I want you to be looking at your operation, looking at your efficiency. This is how you adapt. Would you recommend smaller steps throughout the year to ease into it or wait until the big? I like to do smaller steps throughout the year. I think it's easier to maintain as a business, okay, than one big step. Your staff tends to know about it, okay, when the news advertises that it takes effect today. So if you haven't already made the change by then, I always recommend doing it prior to that. So like a lot of times it takes effect on January 1st, for example. And usually I try to implement it starting in October. If I can, if there's going to be a change. But you can't always do that. This was a year that I held back on it with the increase that we went. Our minimum in Massachusetts this year went from $12.75 to $13.50, and I didn't adjust some people till the beginning of the year. and that was due to the overly cautious nature of COVID world that we're in. But it is something to prepare yourself for. So I mean, you have to prepare your business. You have to prepare your operation. I mean, I talk about my egg timers and how I train people in my processing center. But looking at steps you can cut out, looking at places where you can spend a few extra seconds on, looking at times of the day where you can get by with just a little bit less staff, because your costs are going up at a time where your sales may not. So I just want you to be prepared for it. So this chart is a great chart, one of the best I've seen, and I really want you to have that. Yeah, I mean, Illinois is, a lot like Massachusetts. Illinois is at 11 right now. Massachusetts is at 1350. But this massive jump, and it's going to get a lot of publicity. So I had one article today, one interview, with an employee, that they were interviewing an employee, and they were like, the employee had called into this HR program to ask a question, is she at a company that's on its way out? They've survived the interview. The person was like, I love my job. The company has been amazing at maneuvering and surviving COVID. But they said there'll be no raises this year, but they're giving everybody a bonus, okay? And her bonus alone was going to be like $2,000. She was like, should I start looking for another job? Thankfully, the person that was conducting the interview was like, oh my God, that's a great company. And part of their viewpoint on that was, you have to keep in mind, part of their viewpoint on that is not only is the company surviving, so they've managed their cash flow, they've managed their sales, they've done everything they can to survive, which is freaking awesome. You love your job, okay? That's hard to come by in any neck of the woods. And they're giving a bonus. And why do companies give bonuses instead of increases? Well, they give bonuses because they can control the cost, okay? It's not every 2 weeks that they're getting dinged, okay, forever. Okay, if they even giving a sizable bonus like that, you say they're giving a $2,000 bonus to this lady. Okay, and a bonus divided by 26 pay periods, if she gets paid every other week, okay, is under $1 an hour, okay? For a person that works, is under $1 an hour raise. Okay, it is $76.92 every 2 weeks divided by 80 hours is 96 cents an hour they gave her. Okay, and they're saying I'm going to give you a 96 cents an hour, but I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to be able to do that every week. And so they know they can do this now. Okay, and they're keeping their costs low. That's why bonuses are good from a company perspective. Okay, and a lot of times people like a lump sum, like a big tax refund. So bonuses are something that work. So just something to keep in mind and keep in the back of your head with that. But that is something that is out there, and that's certainly an option too. But it's harder with employees on the lower end of the spectrum. But even $100, $50 goes went a long way to employee satisfaction today. So but you can only do what you can do. But you have to adapt your operation for this. And that's why I'm posting this. That's why I'm giving you the constant reminder. Because even though the minimum wage is not going to be a part of this current bill, it is coming. Okay? The minimum wage increase is coming this year. It's not going to jump right to 15, but we're going to be at 11 just like that. You're going to blink your eyes. Blink, blink. How fast do you blink? You're going to be at $11 an hour if you are not already. So just be ready for it. Okay, the next graphic I have for you. The next graphic I have for you is, does your state, so we've talked about the PPP, and under the new legislation that passed at the end of December, the legislation that passed at the end of December it made your PPP non-taxable. It made both the money you received non-taxable. It made you allowable that you could claim the expenses from the that you spent the PPP on as expenses on your taxes. But that only worked for the federal taxes, and I told you that, and that varied from state to state, and many states don't automatically align with the federal government in whenever the federal government makes a change to the tax code, they don't automatically adapt. There's actually 19 states that don't automatically adapt to that, Massachusetts being one of them. Okay, so it is working through various state legislatures on this, and the real problem is the state legislatures are asking, well, what are we going to get from you? Okay, we're giving you, if we give you this tax-free, and if we give you grant money and help you stay in business, what else are we going to get from you? Some legislatures are asking. They've actually legitimately asked that question out loud. If we give you this, what are you going to give us? What are you going to give us for money as a business? And whatever. I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to leave that hanging out there right now. But I do want you to be aware of the states that that a forgiven PPP loan could be taxed, or the expense deduction is not allowed. And the states that is great, Sylvia. I'm glad to hear that. But this map, so I have this map, and that will get posted tonight, and this is current as of the end of February. This map is current as of February 26th from the Tax Foundation. So I want you to be aware of that. If you are in one of these states, Arizona, Utah, Nevada, Idaho, Washington, California, Kentucky, Ohio, Arkansas, North Carolina, Florida, the New England states, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. I want you to be aware of that. So this chart will go up tonight. Again, and it also varies by state as far as your entity status, whether you're a sole proprietorship or a S Corp or an LLC, can affect whether that is taxed or not. But again, I want to keep you educated. So that map goes up tonight. It will. It's going to go up shortly. All right, what else do I got for you tonight? You ask, I tell. Okay, so tonight I promised you last night that I would have all the updated forms up there for you for the PPP, and they are all going up. So going up in a little while, you will have the Paycheck Protection Program Borrower Application Form, the Second Draw Application Form. But most importantly, if you are a Schedule C filer, that's the most important forms. The updates to the PPP application and the PPP second draw application are negligible. Okay, the changes on those forms aren't even worth talking about, really. There's really nothing on there of any significant value to talk about the change. What matters is I take a sip. Okay, what matters is what happens to the Schedule C filer and the math behind if you are a Schedule C filer applying for a PPP or a second PPP. So let's step through that again, because that is the math there. The math change is drop the mic huge. Drop the mic. If I had a mic here, I would drop it. Okay? Drop the mic huge. Can I drop the bell? I'll ring the bell for this. How's that? Drop the mic huge. Okay, ring the bell. So if you are a Schedule C filer and you have not gotten a first or second PPP, you can apply for one. If you have have that on your Schedule C, a Schedule C form, you are going to look at these following lines on your Schedule C. You're going to look for your glasses first, so you make sure you see the lines. You're going to look for line 7. Line 7 is your gross income. Gross income. Okay? What is your gross income? You are going to take that and you are going to subtract line 14, which is the cost of any employee benefit program. You're also going to subtract line 19, which is the cost of any pension and profit sharing plans. And you're also going to subtract line 26, wages. You are then, because those are calculated in separately for employees, okay? So we're just worrying about your section, what they're going to give you. You're going to take that number, okay, whatever it works out to be, okay? If it is more than $100,000, they're going to lower it to $100,000. Okay? You're going to divide that number, whatever it is, $100,000 or less. If it's $150,000, it still gets lowered to $100,000. You divide that by 12, and you multiply that by 2.5, and you get a maximum amount of $20,833. So let's do that again. Let's do that again. Are you ready? We're going backwards. We went backwards there. That is an old VCR rewind if you are unsure. I can do a tape rewind too, or an old projector like we had in school back in my day. All right. So you are going to go to your Schedule C form. For 2019 or 2020, you can use whichever number benefits you more, 2019 or 2020. You are going to take line 7, gross income, off your Schedule C. You are going to subtract line 14, employee benefits programs. You're going to subtract line 19, pension and profit sharing plans, and you're going to subtract line 26, wages paid to other people. Okay, you're going to subtract those, and you're going to get a number. If it is more than $100,000, you're going to lower it to $100,000. If it is below $100,000, you're going to leave the number as is. You're going to take that number and divide it by 12, whatever that number is, $100,000 or less, and divide it by 12 and multiply it by 2.5 and do the same with your payroll amounts, okay? That is going to give you your new PPP if you also have employees. This is huge. This is absolutely positively huge. It will get you a much higher PPP. You still have to spend it on allowable expenses, but it will get Schedule C filers a much higher PPP than the old math, which was based on net profit. Okay? After all your expenses was the old PPP method. So this will net you a much higher PPP. I can't stress enough. If you are a Schedule C filer and you have not gotten a PPP or a second PPP yet, you want to do it now. You just have weeks remaining. 31 minus 4 is all you got left for days, because this ends on 3/31, people. March the bills, are they talking about extending it? Okay, and they're really expecting a push of money going out right now with the new rules. So take advantage of it. That is the rules. I'm sure some of you will have questions on it. Replay the video, watch it again, and email me your questions. You know where to find me, Neil, Neil, at ECIstores.com. You know where to find all of the forums that I've been talking about tonight. Everything I've talked about tonight will go over to narts.org/resalestrong by noon tomorrow. Noon, I tell you. That's where you find all the forums and files that I talk about. Why did they wait till we already did it? And why? Yeah, as of right now, they're not amending those. There is actually a big push for them to amend existing PPPs. And I am continuing to lend my voice to that, because obviously this would yield much more money that's going to go right back into the business, right back into payroll, right into keeping your community strong. And so there is a big push for that. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know if there's going to be enough pressure on Congress, on the SBA and Treasury to amend that. As of right this moment, right before I came on the air, they have not said they will amend existing PPPs. They will only amend ones that have not been funded yet, is all that they are doing as of right now. So I am I am lending my voice to that. You know, you can call your congressman about it. I'm not sure what they're going to do. I would like to think the pressure is there to get them to review. They have all the information. If you're a Schedule C filer, your banks have it. You had to submit all that information to get it, your initial PPP. So I'm trying to be hopeful for it. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. I'm not sure. They know how much this would help. They know how much this would help. So, but they're partly stretching the language of what Congress has already authorized. Part of what they're doing to be able to do this is delve into intent, okay, and of what Congress did in these acts and what they authorized, because Congress authorizes them to create the programs and to administer the programs, and you get into some real fine lines in the legislation, and they're really weaving some stuff here in doing this. So I remain optimistic. I'm forever hopeful, and I will keep you posted as I know more. But that is how it exists tonight moving forward. And if there is anything that will change the ones that already have been issued, I will let you know. You'll be the first people I tell. I can tell you that. And you know where else you'll find all this? You'll find all of this the next day at narts.org/resalestrong. narts.org/resalestrong. That's where you find all the files, the videos, everything's there, including a direct link to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell. Ring that bell so that you know when a new one drops. That's what I'm telling you. Yes, indeed. You can also share narts.org/resalestrong with everybody you know in business. Everybody, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, whatever their vocation, whatever their profession. We want to help everybody get to the other side. You can find me here nightly, live in the Narts private Facebook group. at More 8th and Ish live in the Nuts private Facebook group. That's where you find me. If you have a question in between, you just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECI. Every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book from our friend Lin-Manuel Miranda. Less than 6 degrees of separation, people. That's what I'm saying. We're on page 188, and no, he doesn't know who we are. Good morning. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Repeat. Our good night tonight is good night. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Repeat. There's your graphics, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, a March celebration. I don't know. We're gonna party again, but when we do, I will. I'll be there with you. But until then, and until tomorrow night at More 8th and Ish, know that you, but most especially you, yes, you're not. All right, everybody, it's time for dessert.